Hi everyone, it is the 4th of February and it is 11:15 p.m. I am going to do a quick labor and delivery story for your pleasure and my sanity, so I can remember years down the road. The reason why I was induced, was because his ultrasound had gotten a low score. I, on the 2nd, had to come in for my post-date testing. Ultrasound and non-stress test. The ultrasound came back poorly because he wasn't moving. Why he wasn't moving was because, one, he only moved late at night, like 11 p.m. on to like 3 or 4 in the morning. That was his active time. And I was straight on my back. I don't like being on my back. Neither did he. If I was on my side, either one of my sides, he'd move. But the tech tried to get him to move while I was on my back. Nothing. Well, yeah, nothing. So they gave him a really low score, which worried them. So I had my non-stress test. The non-stress test was fine, but since the ultrasound was bad, they had to follow protocol and induce me. At about 2 o'clock, they made that decision that they were going to keep me and they were going to induce me. And I forget exactly what time they started the Servidil. I know it's on one of my other videos. So anyways, I had their Servidil in all night long to the next morning, the 3rd. And on the 3rd, I was started on Pitocin at about 10:30 in the morning. I knew right from then that my contractions were going to get close and hard. I've had induced contractions before with my first, and I've had natural contractions with my second. I know the difference. So they did. They did get very strong, very hard, very quick. This time around, I actually got an epidural. With my first 2, I never got an epidural. Scared to death of needles. But this time around, I wanted to have a relaxed, more enjoyable experience with labor and delivery. With my second, I cursed out my ex-husband. I bit him, spit on him, you name it, I did it. Wasn't exactly the most desirable experience for him, I'm sure. And with my first, I didn't want anybody near me unless you were a female. I didn't want his father anywhere near me. His father came near me, tried to touch me, I'd bark at him to get the heck away from me. And this time around, I wanted a much better experience. So I got the epidural, which was amazing. Anyways, at one point she checked me after the epidural. I was 5 centimeters, and she accidentally broke my water, which isn't really a big deal. Then it was about an hour later, she checked me again, and I was 9 centimeters. Went really quick. A lot quicker than I was expecting. I think a lot quicker than they were even expecting. And so this was around 1 o'clock, maybe 1:30. And a little bit later, not very long later, they came in and told me everybody needed to get out of the room except for James, and I needed to get this baby out. His heart rate was dropping, and I needed him out then, right then and there, and if I couldn't get him out, that they were going to have to do a C-section. Scared the living daylights out of me. I think I was pushing for more like an hour. James said I was pushing for 30 minutes. All I know is it was bad. I was pushing as hard as I could and kept being told to push harder. Long story short, they had oxygen on me to help me breathe and to help feed oxygen to Dravyn. They also had an internal monitor on his head to monitor his heartbeat that way too. One thing I remember about pushing him out may seem like a funny thing to remember, but my lips got so dry from the oxygen. While I was pushing, I was licking my lips because my lips were so dry. And I couldn't breathe after a while because for some reason the oxygen would make me congested all of a sudden in the nose, so I couldn't breathe through my nose. So at one point I ended up taking the oxygen off for a little while just because I couldn't, my nose could discongest and whatnot. So anyways, I pushed him out. I got him out, thank God. No tearing, no episiotomy, nothing of this sort. He was out, he was healthy, hand in the face, cord around the neck and the body, but it wasn't really tight. So they really don't understand why I needed to be induced, what the tech read on that ultrasound, and why his heart rate was dropping. So there was that. But the one thing I do remember is literally as soon as he was born, I said to James, I said, this may sound like a weird request, but get me my Blistex. That's all I cared about at that time. And after I got my Blistex, I was happy because my lips were moisturized again. I let James hold Dravyn first because this is his first child. This is my third. And we've had a miscarriage. And I know he never thought he'd be a father. And I wanted to give him that. I wanted him to always be able to remember that he held his son first. The nurses thought I was crazy, probably thought I was really weird, that after having gone through labor and delivery, that of course mommy would want to hold my child first. No, I let him. But that was that. He was born at 217, 9 pounds, 0.04 ounces, which I just found out he was 0.04 ounces, and 21 inches long. So that's that. I'll tell you more as I think of it. Bye.